get ready. Disney California Adventure is almost a completely different park than when it first opened. Thankfully, this is actually good news for a change. The park was heavily criticised during its opening season. With only a total of 22 rides and attractions across the whole park, it didn't offer the same kind of action-packed day as Disneyland Park did right next door. The park was built during a time where budget cuts were commonplace. Many tactics were utilised in an effort to boost resort attendance while also saving money. Quite a few of the initial California Adventure rides and attractions lacked the imagination, creativity and budget that the parks were known for. Many of these subsequently closed soon after opening. Following heavy investment and redesign, the park is now celebrated as one of Disney's best. But thankfully for videos like this, the ghost of its past can still be remembered. Considering the huge changes in such a relatively short period of time, this won't be a complete list. However, we will look at some of the most well-known former rides and attractions at this park. Join us as we take another tour of the attraction graveyard. Get ready. Number 7. Superstar Limo. Sometimes there's a very evident reason for an attraction to close. To put it simply, Superstar Limo is known to be one of the worst rides Disney Imagineering has ever created. The dark ride would feature you as a brand new celebrity in Hollywood. You arrive at LAX and you're en route to meet former Disney CEO Michael Eisner to sign a contract with Disney. However, you would have to avoid the paparazzi as they followed you in hot pursuit. The untimely death of Princess Diana following a paparazzi chase would force Imagineers to change the story drastically. Instead, riders would board limos that simply take the guests through a tour of Hollywood. Crudely designed celebrities, many with specific Disney ties, would feature throughout. The attraction lacked any sort of compelling story. The sets were cheap and the B-list celebrities were chosen for obvious reasons. It didn't feel like a Disney attraction at all. This was especially disappointing for many guests as it was one of the opening day California Adventure rides. All in all, the attraction received such negative feedback it closed less than a year after opening. It operated in the park from February 2001 to January 2002. Many Imagineers now consider it indicative of the issues that plagued the original concept for the park as a whole. Thankfully, Monsters Inc. Mike and Sully to the Rescue would open in its place in January 2006. Number 6. Maliboomer. For anyone that knows Disney California Adventure well, they would be able to tell you that Pixar Pier is much different now than what it originally was. In fact, Pixar Pier was a completely separate theme. Originally called Paradise Pier, this part of the park was themed specifically to replicate a Victorian boardwalk. This contained many of the same attractions as it does today, although with more of an amusement park style. One of the original rides that no longer exists from that period is Maliboomer. Maliboomer was a space shot ride themed to the classic High Striker carnival game. This was essentially a reverse drop tower where riders were shot up into the air. This contrasts the usual slow ride and rapid descent of a drop tower. Maliboomer consisted of 3 separate towers. Each of these reached a total height of 56 meters. The initial launch took riders up to the top of these towers at a speed of 64 kilometers an hour. During the park's redevelopment planning, Maliboomer was deemed to not fit in with the Disney level of theming. It operated in the park from opening day in February 2001 to September 2010. It was subsequently dismantled and moved to Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. In its place, the new land would now feature Inside Out Emotional Whirlwind to fit in with the Pixar re-theme. Number 5. Disney's Aladdin, a musical spectacular. The attraction graveyard doesn't just feature California Adventure rides, but shows too. Disney's Aladdin, a musical spectacular was the park's staple show in the Hyperion Theatre from January 2003 to January 2016. It offered a full 45-minute Broadway-style show based around the 1992 film Aladdin. Many of the film's original, now classic songs feature throughout the show. Disney legend Alan Menken composed a brand new song specifically for the production called To Be Free. Menken has notably worked on several classic Disney films such as The Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast, to name just a couple. Many scenes of the production spilled over into the aisles of the seats, such as Prince Ali's arrival into Agrabah on elephant back. The Genie script was often changed to fit more contemporary pop cultural references. Similarly to the Robin Williams portrayal, some of these lines were even ad-libbed during the performance. The show would later be changed out to fit a more contemporary audience. With Frozen being the highest grossing animated movie at the time, it made sense that this would be its successor. Frozen, live at the Hyperion, would later open in May 2016. However, a version of the original Aladdin still exists today. It's still performed as part of the Disney Cruise Line entertainment on board the Disney Fantasy. Number 4. Golden Dreams. Golden Dreams was a short film which told the history of the state of California, presented by Whoopi Goldberg. Like many of the attractions on this list, this too was an opening day attraction. It operated from February 2001 to September 2008. Whoopi Goldberg played the role of Khalifa, the Queen of California. She was projection mapped onto one of 2 Art Deco goddess statues beside the screen. Between the narration and the film, the attraction highlighted the contributions made by individuals and ethnic groups throughout Californian history. Some of these included the Chinese labourers who worked on the railroad during the gold rush of 1849, as well as many women who worked men's jobs during World War II. During its later operating years, the attraction saw lower attendances. This might be attributed to the expected theme park audience at the time looking to experience actual rides. A similar film can be seen in the American Adventure at Epcot. However, this still lasts today as it's the core principle of the Epcot theme. It would be interesting to see how popular this attraction will be today, given its particular interest in the women and ethnic groups that form California, which might fit in more with today's culture. However, the theatre was demolished in 2009. Ariel's Undersea Adventure later opened in its place in 2011, although the replica Palace of Fine Arts facade remains on this attraction today. Number 3. Luigi's Flying Tires. The concept for Luigi's Flying Tires has floated, excuse the pun, around Disneyland for quite some time. In fact, the original idea for this attraction dates all the way back to the initial Disneyland planning stage. There were plans for a bumper boat attraction to be an opening day fixture in 1955 called Duck Bumps. This later evolved into the classic Tomorrowland attraction Flying Saucers in 1961. Flying Saucers would later close in 1966, so it's amazing to see a replica, albeit updated version, opening in June 2012. Guests boarded giant tires that acted as floating bumper cars. 6,714 air vents under the ride floor provided a cushion of air that helped the tires float. Riders could then lean in their seats to direct the tires to bump into each other. As was the case with Flying Saucers, the ride system proved problematic. The tires failed to really move as originally anticipated. This led the ride to close less than 3 years after opening in February 2015. The attraction was later replaced in March of 2016 with a trackless flat ride, Luigi's Rollickin' Roadsters. Number 2. The Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. Disney parks are known for their more family-friendly form of themed entertainment. It's rare enough that they push the boat out when it comes to thrill rides. However, some of the California Adventure rides were a bit more intimidating. The Twilight Zone Tower of Terror is definitely one of these examples. This opened in the park in May 2004 when a revamp was very much needed. Although stylistically very similar to the Walt Disney World version, it's actually an almost clone of the same ride found in the Disneyland Paris resort. Themed after the Twilight Zone show, riders boarded a maintenance elevator. They were previously told that hotel guests had disappeared based on a supernatural force. Riders are dropped at a speed faster than gravity. The sequence also involved several lifts and drops that made for a terrifying ride. In July 2016, it was announced that the California version would receive a re-theme to Guardians of the Galaxy. It later closed in January 2017. The news of Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout was met with mixed reception, although having personally experienced this version, it provides a surprisingly very fun alternative to the classic Disney attraction. Number 1. Flik's Fun Fair. Flik's Fun Fair belonged to the now defunct A Bug's Land area. This area was themed after the 1998 Pixar film A Bug's Life. The theme shrunk you down to the size of a bug with oversized blades of grass and benches made out of giant popsicle sticks. Flik's Fun Fair offered 5 various attractions aimed towards younger guests. Flik's Flyers was a flying spinner ride where vehicles were fashioned out of the use of food containers. Heimlich's Choo Choo Train was a slow-moving ride through various chewed foods. Scents were then piped in to represent the different foods you rode through. Francis Ladybug Boogie was a spinning flat ride similar to a smaller version of Mater's Junkyard Jamboree. Princess Dot Puddle Park was a splash pad composed of a giant garden hose, while Tuck and Roll's Drive and Buggies was a Pillbug themed bumper car attraction. The Flik's Fun Fair area of the land operated from October 2002 to September 2018. Unfortunately, A Bug's Land as a whole was cleared in order to make way for the forthcoming Avengers Campus. This meant that we lost a total of 5 Disney California Adventure rides, including It's Tough to Be a Bug 3D show. Thankfully, the latter is still included in the Animal Kingdom attraction lineup. We expect some big things to come from Avengers Campus, so hopefully the closure is going to be worth it. If you enjoyed this video, check out some of our other videos from this park. Our hidden gems and underappreciated rides list are on screen now. Now you're ready. Which of these rides would you bring back today? Leave a comment and let us know. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like and press the subscribe button.